of the Year, Episode 1, Chapter 4. Chet found his mom atop a second-floor platform overlooking the casino floor. "So is Steve back?" he asked. He hoped to prompt an update on Beatrix. His mom glanced at him and said, "It's a good thing your grandma isn't here. We'd lose her in all these gambling machines." Chet wasn't sure how to respond. "She'd be happy, though," his mom continued. Chet joined her at the platform edge and leaned into the rail. He looked down at the sea of machines and listened to the happy wash of beeps and bloopy sweep arpeggios. The sounds reminded him of a carnival, but nobody seemed interested in doing anything other than sit and stare at the lights. Would they let her bring her dog? Chet wondered. His mom snickered. "I doubt it. What would happen is that she'd make us drive her all around the city until she found a casino willing to look the other way." Yeah, probably. Chet decided to reattempt his question. "Steve isn't back yet, is he? And where's Dad?" "They're both out there looking for Beatrix." "Maybe I should be helping too." "Despite what Steve thinks, I'm sure she can take care of herself," his mom dismissed. "Anyway, what did the two of you talk about? He was the CEO, wasn't he?" "I think so," Chet said. "Well, yes, I mean, and he offered me a job." "Don't you already work for his company?" his mom snarked. "Well, let's hear the details." Chet held his breath as he struggled to summon the lie he had pieced together during his search for his mom. He took a deep breath. "Working for one of his personal projects. It's pretty far away, though, and I might be gone for a while." God, this would have sounded crazy 10 years ago, but I bet this has something to do with space, right? Chet forced a laugh. "No, of course not." "Okay, I'll pretend to believe you." She patted Chet's hand. "But didn't you think it was interesting how he handed out your award right after that whole space and looking toward the future spiel? Is he that subtle in person?" Chet sighed. "Okay, maybe it is in space, but you can't tell anyone. And I'll be gone for 3 years. He paused. "I signed the contract." "Of course you did." "Could you come home summers at least?" "No, didn't think so." She lowered her head. "But you'll be able to call?" This time she waited for an answer. "Probably," replied Chet. "I hope so." "Harry isn't going to like this, you know." His mom always referred to Chet's dad as Harry on account of his copious body hair. His actual name was Henry. "Yeah," said Chet. Every other day a pamphlet for another college arrived in the mail. All were addressed to Chet, but his dad was the one making the inquiries. "And, we'd better not let your grandpa catch a whiff of this, or he'll go straight to the local news," his mom added. "I'll come up with a story. Speaking of which, what was going to be your story to me?" "A remote island. With naked girls." Chet had anticipated this reaction. "No, it was going to be in the Arctic." "And what were you going to be doing there?" "Taste testing burger alternatives. Caribou meat, seals, things like that." Chet's mom fiddled with the hem of her tie-dyed dress and said, "That's not a terrible story. I'll adjust your geography and use it on Harry." Several seconds passed before she added, "But for the record, if you're old enough to go into space, you're probably old enough to start adding naked girls to your fantasies. Don't you think?" Chet flushed. He looked away and said nothing.